What is up, YouTube land? PredaKing93 here with another trial deck review. Now, I'm starting off with a disclaimer straight away. I've already changed one card in the deck. It will be noticed straight away because it's size 3 monster and I took out a weapon. That's the only difference I've made in this deck so far because it's well balanced. So, with further ado, I'm going to introduce, if you already not noticed, it is StarDargon World from the StarDargon World trial deck. And you know what? The flag itself is pretty decent. Now, I know there's going to be a bunch of people on my YouTube comments saying, oh, the glare, the glare, the glare. You know what? Deal with it. It's to protect my cards that I buy to review for yous. If you don't like it, suck an egg. Yes, I have had a few comments like that. Oh, can you remove the glare? Can you do this? Can you do that? What you have got to remember is, at the same time as me trying to set everything up, the cards themselves are really shiny. So they have glare themselves. The packets reduce the glare that the cards do. I've reviewed plenty of decks without their sleeves on. And I tell you now, it is a nightmare trying to get them to, not reflect. But I digress. Right, the buddy that I have chosen for this deck is Cosmos Strider Galaxis, who is a size 3 monster, and if you can't tell the shadow, it's because it's got my camera in the middle. Size 3 monster, critical of 3, 7,000 attack, 6,000 defense. Pay 3 gauge, put the top card of your deck into this card's soul. It has Penetrate and Soul Guard as a buddy monster that's pretty neat. But with this deck, there is the Cross Knives ability. Cross Knives is where you're allowed to take certain cards and put them into the soul of said monster. And that allows you to gain certain perks. Those certain perks could vary from Penetrate, Move, Soul Guard, Double Attack, anything. This is why most people are running the StarDargon World deck. Now, the most common build is a Cross Knives deck with the Buddy Rare Jackknife, Starchild Jackknife. But me, I'm going to go with the Cosmic Storm build. The Cosmic build, basically. Which leads me to the next card which I have put in, which is Cosmic Storm Gerezin Zek. 9,000 attack, 2 critical of 2, 7,000 defense, size 3 monster, pay 1, cold cost, pay 3 gauge. Look at the top 3 cards of your deck. Put 1 card from among them into this card's soul, and the rest into your drop zone. At the same time, it has double attack and soul guard, which is pretty damn neat. Next up is the size 1 monster. I can't remember if I put this card in or not, but this next up is size 1 monster, Drago Arms Vigel, which is 4,000 attack, 1,000 defense, and a critical of 2. Now, this is a Cross Knives card that I was talking about. You put this into the card soul of a Neo Dragon, and this card allows it to gain move. So that basically allows you to move any cards. Next up is this deck's another card that was in this deck, which is another Dragon Arms. Dragon Arms Cavalier. This card basically does the same Cross Knives as him, except it doesn't do move. It does Penetrate. This has 4,000 attack, 1,000 defense, a critical of 2, and it's size 1. And as I just said, it gives the card Cross Knives card a Penetrate ability. Next up is another Drago Arms. Like I say, the deck, StarDargon World, you just play size 3 monsters or size 2 monsters, and you play size 1 and 0s as Dragon Arms. This one has the Cross Knives ability of giving your Neo Dragon 2,000 defense. It is 3,000 attack, 5,000 defense, critical of 1, and it's size 1. So basically you can get a size 3 monster with penetrate, move, soul guard, double attack, and higher defense. Next up is the spell card, Shining Rain. You may only cast this during opponent's basically allows you to nullify... hang on, I'll read the actual text for you. You may only cast this card when your opponent casts a spell during his or her turn. Pay 1 gauge and 1 life. Basically nullify the spell card. Comes in handy if you're going up against Magic World. At that point, I would say if you're going into a tournament, right now, StarDargon World will beat Magic World. It will beat probably Dragonine, which I'm having a lot of problems with, but I'm rambling. Next up is Star Blast. It's another spell, pay 2 gauge, destroy an item or spell on the field. So this basically allows you to effectively going against Hero World, destroying anything on Hero World, and like I say, anything in Dragonine and other stuff. Next up is another Shining Rain. I'm a bit under the weather, that's why I'm snuffling a lot. Next up is Photon Saber Meteor. This is one of the sabers that I removed to put my size 3 monster in. It has 3,000 attack, a critical of 2, and it's an item. Like I say, they've got some pretty decent ones where you gain life and that for every time you destroy a monster and all this. Next up is the size 2 monster, Demon Blaze Maxwell, which has 6,000 attack, 4,000 defense, a critical of 3. It's a size 2. Pay 2 gauge to call it. When this card enters the field, destroy a size 2 or less monster on your opponent's field. And it has Soul Guard. So I'm guessing you have to put the top card in this. Basically, normally you put the top card of the deck into a Soul Guard. This is quite generic now, so Soul Guard doesn't have the text. But if it says Soul Guard, it gets Soul Guard. Next up is another Shining Rain. Next up is another Phantom Saber Meteor. Next up is the Buddies, Cosmos Strata Galaxis. Next up is another size 1 monster, but this time it isn't a Dragon Arms. This one is Rainbow Vision Shadow Scar. It is one of the strongest ones that you can... Well, second strongest, I believe, or third. They really don't let you know about this sort of thing. Right now, this is the one that I would run for size 1 monsters if you're going for an attack strength. 6,000 attack, 1,000 defense, critical of 2, and no ability. And no call cost, so even better. Next up is another Dragon Arms Cavalier. Next up is the impact card from this deck, which is Phantom Edge Universe. You may only cast this if your opponent has 4 life or less, you have a weapon equipped, and you don't have a monster in your center. Pay 4 gauge, deal 4 damage to your opponent. That's basically another version of Gargantua Punisher. And this happens quite a lot in BuddyFight now. Cards are mimicking Gargantua Punisher, but they can be reduced now. Next up is the new spell for this, or counter as you would say. Or if you play BuddyFight, the Nullifier. Photon Barrier. You may only cast this during this card if you're being attacked, basically. Nullify the attack and put the top card of your deck into your gauge. So with StarDargon World, instead of paying life or gauge or anything else, you're charging your gauge with it. So it's pretty cool. Next up is one of my personal favourites, because it looks so adorable, is Child Star Astrojet. Size 1 monster, 5,000 attack, 2,000 defense, a critical of 1, but it looks so goddamn adorable. Seriously, leave a like if you think it's adorable. Next up is the Star Saber Reflector. This is the one that most people run because it has a cool ability. Alright, first off are its normal stats, which is 4,000 attack, a critical of 2. Pay 1 gauge to summon it. And when you equip this card, you gain 1 life. So if you run 4 of them, that's basically giving you 4 life for free. Except, you know, you're paying gauge. Next up is another Demon Blaze Maxwell. Right, the next 2 cards is Photon Saber Meteor and another Phantom's Edge. Next up is the size 2 normal monster that isn't a Dragon Arms. It is Stardust Grublu? I am, as you can tell from most of my last videos, I won't be able to pronounce most names. 7,000 attack, 6,000 defense, critical of 2, and no cold cost. So StarDargon one's got this whole thing going on with no cold cost for certain monsters, which I'm starting to absolutely adore. Next up is a new spell, Photon Memory. Basically, this is like Dragonic Grimoire or the Hero World one, which I'll be showing you in a second after this deck, because I've built 2 Hero World decks. Basically, when you get down to 5 or less life, you discard your entire hand and you draw 3 cards. It's roughly the same print on Hero World and Dragonic Grimoire. Next up is another Star Blast. Like I say, with a trial deck, you get 4 or 3 of each card, so that's why it's kind of similar. Next up is another Child Star Astrojet. Next up is the last card, I believe, that we haven't. No. There's one more card after this, I believe. Yep, there's one more card after this, and the rest have all been mentioned. This one is the Crater Basin. Oh, Crater Basin. Size 1 monster, 4,000 attack, 6,000 defense, a critical of 1. Pretty decent. Alright, so let's see if I can find the next card. Yeah, right. So basically, all the way through, we'll have another Shadow Scar, another Reflector, another Grublu, another Planted Memory, another Starburst, Starblast, Starburst? Could go for a Starburst. Another Basin, another Memory. Alright, next up is, so basically, all the cards that I've read off so far, except for the final 3, are all the same as you've seen in the review. They're all the same cards there. It's a trial deck. What do you expect? The last 3 cards in the deck that I haven't shown off are, is Spectacular Light Ring. Or Spectre Light Ring? I can't. If anybody can read this and leave in say what it is, good on you, Icon. It's what is referred to as a support card, which is basically allows you to choose a Neo Dragon in battle for this battle. Give it 3,000 power and defense and counterattack. And there goes my notifications. God damn it, games. Basically, you play this during your opponent's battle phase. You've probably come across something similar like it, like Drago Energy and all that. It's the same thing after all. So yeah, that's the StarDargon World Trial deck. And you know what? I've got to say this. I absolutely love this deck. If it wasn't for me playing Hero World right now, I think I would actually play StarDargon World. But for all those people that know me and you've heard us on the podcast, I'm a major fan of superheroes and that. By the way, always, I forgot to mention this in the last in the last few things. Always check out the podcast that I'm on. I haven't been on recently because I've been doing all these videos with you guys. The podcast is Nerdversity at Podcast Garden. So you go to podcastgarden.com, type in Nerdversity 101, and you will find their entire library of nearly 200 episodes. Right now they're trying to finish off, I think it's the Transformers series, because we've done all 30 years. I had personal reasons why I left for a time being, and you know what? I'm going to say this now. These guys have helped me so much through the last several months. So just go check them out. I'll leave a link in the description. I'll also put their logo at the end so you know what you're looking for. They also have a YouTube channel. I believe it's at Aaron Wood. That's Aaron Wood. I'll leave a link in the description for that as well. And I'll catch you guys on the flip side. And if you haven't noticed, I've changed my outro for some reason. It just comes naturally, I guess. Unlike, be proud of who you are, be proud of being a geek. Catching you guys on the flip side sounds a lot better. Leave down in a comment below and tell me what you think. Flip side or be proud? I'll catch you guys later.